Hi friends! How many of us have already come up with a 2022 New Year's resolution? I normally love New Year's because for me, it's a time of year where I can set a goal and I can reset this year and make this year better than last year. For a lot of us, that's not even hard to do with the last year we've had. And then come up with, and tell me if I'm wrong, a plan behind another plan for some of us to make sure we hit our goals. And in a lot of ways, that's a good thing. But a lot of the times, we may not hit all of our goals. And instead of motivating us, what it does is it makes us never want to set another New Year's resolution ever again because we just don't want to be disappointed. And this past 6 months, especially, and even up to a year, something that I've realized is sometimes you're just not always going to hit your goals. And sometimes the goals that you think are so important to you are not what really are important on the grand scheme of things. And for a lot of you, you know that I don't post much on social media. And when I do, it's either my family or my kids or life quotes that's going to make someone know that there's so much more to life than that they're currently seeing. But I rarely post about myself because I don't want someone to think that I have a hidden agenda, which on social media, that's typically where it always goes. What's this hidden agenda that they want me to do? Or what's their biased opinion? Or, oh, they just want attention again, right? And the great one where you just don't want see another video from that specific person. And I didn't want that judgment in my life. I didn't want that judgment with my family. But this last 6 months, I've felt led to have you be a part of my life, whether we grew up together in high school or haven't seen each other in years, or whether we talk once in a great while, or maybe you've never met me before and this just came up in your feed. Even you, I feel like you should be able to be a part of my life, and especially my close friends and family. And that's getting me out of my comfort zone, especially going on social media and saying what's been the difference in my life, especially these past 6 months. I love having a career. I love being successful in places where most people never find success. I love being able to overachieve and be a go-getter and be known for it. And most of all, I like comfort, right? When I'm stable and I do A, B, and C, I'm going to end up with D, E, F, right? And that for a long time, and I still struggle with it, is how I run. And it's made me good in business, but it also drained me more than I could have imagined it would drain me. And with the series of events that led me to where I am, to which led me to even post this video, I'm hoping that this next year, bringing you into my life for a year, I can't promise more than a year, but bringing you into my life for a year to see one random act of kindness, what it can do to another individual. I hope it changes your life as much as it has changed mine. And that when you start to focus on others, instead of the social media, I want you to do this, or I want to be noticed, or just so many eyes in this world. If I change this about myself, if I end up doing this, I will get this, or I want you to make me feel good. If it could just change to what I can do for others, everything changes, right? So here's my backstory. So again, here's my backstory. December of last year, I had a dear friend want to gift me a real estate program. And before you quit there, because there's the biased opinion, there's the, oh, that's what she's trying to get at me. I'm not saying I just want to sell your home right now. It's just what changed my life. And she gave it selflessly. She didn't expect me to pay her back. She didn't expect me to do something in return to get something out of it. She literally gave it to me because she wanted me to better my life. And for years, she had been trying to get me into it. And even when it was in college, I had people saying, why are you not a real estate agent? And I didn't want to change careers. I liked being able to be successful as into what I'm used to doing. I didn't want to give up the comfort of my annual salary. And I was doing okay with where I was. And in this moment, I'm super grateful that she got me out of my comfort zone. And my friend Mac, I want to say thank you so much for getting me to this point where I can achieve things that I've never been able to achieve before. And so she has. She helped me get on this path where my whole life would change. And a couple months down the road, it was amazing because one day this guy came up to me that worked with me, and mind you, he's another friend. And he came up to me out of nowhere and he's like, I'm supposed to tell you something. And I said, okay, what is it that you're supposed to say? And he said, whatever you pray for, God says he will give it to you. And I was thinking in the back of my mind, well, that's a bold statement. And in the second moment, I started tearing up and I said, what if I don't want that? I know, and for the past year or two, I've felt led. Now, this sounds crazy, and I'm not expecting everybody to give up a house, okay? For this long, I felt led to just give up things that were super important to me. I worked hard to get a great house. I worked really hard to be comfortable in a job that I knew in and all the ins and outs on. I was good with where my family was and my friends were, minus I didn't get to talk to them as much because I worked so much and it was so important to me to work and make sure that my reps were taken care of. But ultimately, for even almost closer to 3, if I'm being honest, God said, give it up. And I didn't want to. So when my friend at work told that to me out of nowhere, I was like, what if I don't want that? And so guess what I did? I didn't pray it because I didn't want my life to change. And most of us probably been in the same boat from time to time or many times in our life. Nope, I don't want this to change. So I'm just going to act like it's not there. And normally when you act like it's not there, it keeps eating at you. And so after that, I had a friend, I would say in July, come up to me. And she said, she went to church with me. She said, hey, when I'm ready to buy a house and move in with my daughter and son-in-law, I want to use you. And she knew I was newer to the industry, and she knew I may not have known everything that others know, but she would use me. And she said, it's probably going to be a few years out, but I will think of you. And that brought out the gratefulness I think that sometimes we miss. Sometimes we go through life and we get going so fast, we forget to be grateful for even just little words. We expect big, huge gifts or big, huge acts to show us that we're loved. And sometimes it's the small things that someone's thinking about you or that you're thinking about them that makes the biggest difference. And we start to lose faith in humanity because my small little thing that I do is not going to change the world, but it can change another's life. And you never know where that would lead to next. So after she came up to me, my job got really uncomfortable for a while. And when I mean uncomfortable, I'm super thankful for everyone that worked for me. I'm so thankful for the employers giving me the opportunity. And my boss, I just super grateful for the things that they had all taught me. But when sometimes your life gets uncomfortable for a reason, so you make a change, that's kind of where I ended up. And I had asked my friends, should I quit or should I just stick through it? And those that had been in my life a lot said, no, you really should start this new path. You really should start this new thing because this is not for you anymore. And I still had a hard time changing. And so it got even more uncomfortable. I was okay with the comfort that I had, even though it was now getting uncomfortable. I was super happy with the success that I pushed out of it. I loved being able to impact the people around me in that moment, but I knew a change was coming and I couldn't deny it. So, needless to say, I kept going on my little journey, right? And I didn't know where it was going to be next, and I didn't know where I was headed. And when I got in my car after I had a coffee date with my friend, she said, you really should quit. And that day, I don't know what was different than the other days. I got in my car and I finally prayed. And I prayed that same prayer. Okay, God, I'm asking for this. Change my life. I give up my house, which I still need to put it on the market, mind you. baby steps, right? Doing that, I said, I'll give my resignation. My life is yours. I want to impact people around me again. I want to put myself aside, lead it down the path that it should go. But you know me, I like to question everything and I like to have control of everything because I like to make sure all ends are met. And I said, you're going to have to give me a sign, which we all act like we don't need signs in our life to make the next step. But sometimes we just need them because we're not strong enough to do it on our own. And we're not meant to do it alone either. So oddly enough, within about 1 minute, if not less, I had a text message from one of my representatives, which he is amazing. And I'm super blessed to call him a friend as well. He sent me a text message that said, don't worry about starting over because this time you're not starting over, you're starting with experience. And it was the perfect timing for that. A month down the road, when I announced that I was resigning, I told him about that because he said, no, you can't leave. You're not supposed to leave. We said we were in this together till the bitter end. And I said, so here's the thing. You're the reason why, well, God used you, that I'm quitting because remember that day you sent me this quote? And he said, yes. I said, that was a sign that I needed to leave. And he's like, okay, I get that. He's all, you want to hear the weird story about this? I said, yeah. He's all, I tried to get it in GroupMe to our sales reps for quite a while. It wouldn't upload, but I felt like I was still supposed to send it to you. So I did. And again, that's another little thing that just reminded me that I needed to move on, that I needed to do something new. So I kept going about my day, gave my resignation, and had a hard time not staying, even though, we tried to come together. I just knew it was time to move on. That day, I had been putting in offers for some friends of mine, and they're amazing, right? The lady that I had explained came to me before, decided to move up her timeline. And we started looking for homes. And, this market, we're not going to get all of them. And we're definitely going to have to try for a few of them, right? If not many of them. But the tenacity pays off and we find the homes for the people that we want, the right home, right? It's not always the first home that is the right home. It's the home that you're supposed to have. And when I tendered my resignation, I found out within 2 hours that their first home, it was accepted. And it gave me the comfort to be able to really give my resignation and to follow through on it. And that blessing, which we're going to talk about them a little bit later, but that gave me the ability to change my whole entire life, and them being selfless and them choosing me, even though there were tons of realtors that might have at that point in time had a lot more experience than I did, right? We landed deals and were able to get and do things that I realized even last week was not something most real estate agents ever run into. And we overcame so many obstacles because it was meant to be, not I was forcing it to make it work in my life. And so it was fun. I ended up going down the line, quitting my job. And ever since then, it has been night and day. And it's been a complete difference than where I was. I gave up the success. I gave up definitely the comfort. Oh my goodness, giving up comfort is harder sometimes than giving up finances. And going out into something new, I've been able to be around my children more. And some of you, that's where you're at. You don't feel like you have enough time with your children. Many of us, we weren't able to communicate as much because I was working so much that I didn't even have time really for my friends. And it's been nice to be able to hang out with people that I hadn't seen in years. I have lunch dates planned with friends that I haven't seen in years because I thought success was so important. Now, do I still struggle with it? Yes, because that's just in me. I want to be successful. I want to do things above and beyond. But it was amazing to see the change. And so the number one focus this year is going to be to impact others around. instead of focusing on what I can achieve, it's going to be on who could we impact. And if you're one of those people that want to impact those around you, reach out to me. Let's come up with a group that can impact others. And whether it's financially, whether it's emotionally, whether someone just needs a friend, if you're that type of person that just don't feel like anyone's out there for you right now, reach out and let's change others' lives that are around us. And how am I going to do that? Well, I told you that I'd go back to the Heltons and how they changed my life. The people that we were getting the houses and the transactions done, so they had a new home. We had to sell two of their other homes. And since they were able to bless me selflessly to be able to change careers, which they knew I had struggled with for a long time, they were able to help change my life. And so many of you, in one way, shape, or form, have changed or impact my life over the years. And I want to do the same for others. November, we're coming to the end, so don't you worry. November, I had my son. He ended up getting COVID on his birthday, and so did his friend. They actually share a birthday. So they were no longer able to have their birthday parties, and they were both devastated. And my friend Felicia reached out and said, hey, I still want to drop off a gift. Let's see what we can do to show that they're special and to love on them. She showed up to the door with a present just out of the goodness of her heart. He was so ecstatic. And so what we did is we paid it forward, showed up with a gift from me, and then Felicia randomly wasn't super close with my friend. I'm hoping one day they become more friends, but showed up with a gift from us and a gift from her. And what she did is she was able to change her life too. She didn't even have a party after because she was happy with being able to receive that gift. So what I'm doing is I'm putting 200 enough money aside to reach out to 20 individuals. All right, y'all saw that it paused. My daughter came in and she was super important. So back to this. um, I've set enough money aside to reach out to 20 kids that are either have COVID and stuck and not able to do their birthday parties because of it, or even if they have another major illness. And I don't want to be the one that decides who it goes to. So I want to reach out to you. If you know someone that needs to have their life brightened, some little kid, I have 20 availability or 20 spots available, and let's leave it up to others to see who we should give them out to. Reach out to me, messenger, if you have my phone number, if you want my phone number, I have it. I'm here for you. And if I'm not here for you and you need someone else, I can find someone there to help you as well. But these first transactions are going to go to 20 children that need to have their lives brightened in one way, shape, or form. And every other real estate transaction that I do this year, and hopefully in the future, there's going to be money set aside to help others, whether it's something big, whether it's something small. And every time that we help an individual, names will be left out, but I will share those experiences with you, not for attention, not because I get emotional even think about it. I don't want it for that reason, and I don't want you, and you can tell this is one of my biggest fears, is for people to take it wrong. But I want to change lives. And sometimes when we look at social media, it's so much negativity saying it's about me or these horrible things going on. And it's better to flood social media with things that are impacting other people's lives in a positive way. And the reason why I'm putting this story out here today is because Christmas is coming up. And Christmas is all about giving and helping others and that free gift that we don't deserve, right? So let's reach out to others. Let's come up with activities. If you have an activity that you want to do with others that's going to impact someone else's life and you don't know where to start, reach out, and maybe somebody else is connected to this group or connected to my Facebook page, has the means or has a way of getting something going, or maybe others will have that moment where they want to impact somebody just like you do. And let's get more focus on giving and loving selflessly and helping others instead of being focused on ourselves. And going into 2022, I want you to hold me accountable just as much as I'm saying, hey, let's go out there and change lives and change people and help people. And if you need someone to listen to, if you need someone to be there for you, I'm here for you, and I'll be in touch. Be doing at least weekly videos. They're not professional or amazing like most YouTube or bloggers, but let's start sharing stories of how we help each other. And I, again, want to thank my friend Matt. I want to thank Felicia. I want to thank Beverly and Ben and Kristen for giving me opportunities this year, along with my previous employees and employers, and every single one of you that have impacted my life, including my family, in a positive way. And let's, instead of it being one person here and there, let's continue to show these stories of how people are being impacted in a positive way and help others be able to see and replicate it. I thank you so much for listening to this super long video. You may not have made it to this point, but I appreciate each one of you, and I'll be in touch. Merry Christmas.